Okay, so on number 3, we're going to do doing something similar that we did with on page 5, which is we are going to take each one of these functions given in graphical form, and we are going to graph the corresponding functions which are transformed with absolute value. So remember that what happens with this function, which is, I'm going to call this like the blue function. The blue function, what it does is it reflects the bottom part of the function over the x-axis to the top part. Okay, so basically there's a reflection about the x-axis. So in the problem from the last page, the parabola ended up looking like that because the bottom part was flipped up. And then this green function here, what it does is it removes the left side of the function, and it repeats the right side function flipped over. So like, for example, on the last problem, what it did was it took the right side of the parabola and it just flipped it over the y-axis, and you ended up with kind of a V shape. Okay, so let's do the first one, the blue functions. We'll do a blue function for each one of these, which we're going to take anything below the x-axis and we're going to flip it up like that. Like, for example, the blue function for that one would look like that. The blue function for, the blue function for this one would look like, let's see, that, right? And the part that's above the x-axis would just stay the same. Okay? Now let's do the green function. So the green function, what it would do is it would take the right side and it would flip it over to the left side also. So the right side of this function is over here. And then basically it would discard this part, and then it would just flip this part over. Okay? Same thing with this one. So it would discard this part that's on the left side of the y-axis, and then it'll just repeat what's over here, including the asymptote and everything, kind of like that. It'll just reflect the positive side half of the graph over to the negative half. Okay, number 4. I'm going to take the function f of x. I'm going to transform it to absolute value f of x, which is the blue type of function we had above, right? And we're going to do that for each one of the points we see here. I only left you one. I think one example is enough for you guys. So 5 comma negative 2 would be about there, right? And if I was going to transform this point to absolute value of f of x, what would happen is that this point would flip up over to the positive upper half, right? And that would become a blue point, and the coordinates of that blue point would be 5 comma plus 2, of course. Okay, and that's what we found. We found the corresponding image point here. Okay. Now let's go to number 5. Suppose the function f of x is transformed to f of absolute value of x. For each of the following points on f of x, find the image point of 1 comma 3. Okay, so let's draw again the point, sketch it. The location would be 1 comma 3. It would be about like there. If we want to find the corresponding point f of absolute value of x, remember that what happens is we take the positive side, the positive right half of the image, and we reflect it over to the negative half. Okay, so this point 1 comma 3 would become negative 1 comma 3. B. Find the points on y equals f of x that are transformed to the following points on y equals f of absolute value of x, negative 1 comma 3. Oh, well, that was kind of an easy one, right? Because like the negative 1 comma 3 is the point that we just mapped to. So the point that transformed to that point was 1 comma 3, right? Okay, that's it.